Hey there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker, and welcome to episode 9 of the Coronavirus Real Estate Market Update. In this episode, as always, we'll go over the real estate numbers, but I also want to look at a tale of two markets because in Mississauga, depending on your price point, you're going to have two different stories playing out during this pandemic. Listen, there's a lot of good info in this video. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go! Well, welcome to week 10 of lockdown here in Ontario. Things are trending better with a couple of exceptions, but on the most part, I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, we start to transition out of this total lockdown and into something of a new normal where the economy starts to pick up and people get back to things. Aside from that, there is some encouraging news around the world. Other countries are opening, so I don't expect Canada to be too far off. But again, we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the real estate market. Now, when we look at the real estate numbers in Mississauga from May 20th to May 26, 2020 versus the same time last year, we can see that new listings are down approximately 35% from the same time last year, while sales are down approximately 50% from the same time last year. However, from a week over week perspective, the sales and listings are going up, which is pointing out to me that the market is starting to pick up. All right, so now we get to the favorite part of the video, and that is, Jeff, what's going on with house prices? So for this comparison, we're going to use semi-detached properties in Mississauga between the list price of $600,000 and $900,000. And the reason we do that is because in order to get accurate numbers, you need to compare similar properties in a similar price range in a similar area, or else the numbers really don't make sense. So when we look at semi-detached properties for last week versus the first week of March, pre-coronavirus, we can see that sale prices are down approximately 5%, which is in line with the last 4 weeks. Now, when we go to average sold to ask ratio, it is bumped up to 101%. which tells me that sellers are listing their houses aggressively and buyers are starting to push to get deals done, perhaps sensing that inventory is still low and that buyer confidence is starting to pick up. Finally, the average day on market clocks in at 18 days, which is really good. It's getting better from the previous week and shows us that homes are moving. So next, we're going to look at a rolling chart for semi-detached properties in Mississauga, which gives you an idea of how many active listings there are in the market versus sold and expired. Because at the end of the day, in order to get a sense of what may happen in the future, looking at this trend is the best way to do it. So here we are with our handy dandy chart. And as you can see, the orange line is the number of sold and terminated properties, while the blue line is the number of new listings on the market on a week-to-week basis. And again, since the middle of March, we saw a steep drop in both listings and sales from when the coronavirus started. However, as we've gone along in April, we can see that the number of sold and terminated properties has remained fairly stable, while listings has been a little more sporadic. And over the last 2 weeks, we can see both starting to trend upward, which is telling me that maybe our spring market is finally arriving. This is a trend I want to keep watching. If they keep going up, it's telling me that the market's starting to pick up. Now, the most important thing about this chart, again, keep in mind, is that the number of solds and new listings are staying relatively together. If they start to verge off and the number of listings continues to go up, but at the same time the sales plateau or go down, creating a big spread, that's when you need to worry about more pressure on home prices. All right, now I want to touch on the subject of the tale of two markets in Mississauga, because what you're going to find is, depending on the type of property you're in the market for or selling, you might experience completely different markets. Taking a look at this chart, I've taken the numbers for all freehold properties listed and sold in Mississauga in the month of May. And right away, what stands out to me is that properties under $1 million are still being listed and sold quite rapidly. In all of May, there's only 154 listings under $1 million, and out of those listings, 115 sales. Now, when we go to homes over 1 million, we can see a huge variance where there's almost 400 listings for sale as of today, while at the same time, only 59 sales. This tells me inventory is way higher on homes over 1 million. There's a lot of them for sale. If you're a buyer out there looking for a luxury property, it's a really good time to be shopping. If you're a buyer in the segment under $1 million, it's still a good time to go shopping. As we can see, prices are still down slightly. However, if you're waiting to see what's going to happen in the future, I wouldn't wait too long, because with inventory so low in this segment, with a rebound or consumer confidence rises, the economy starts to get a little better, this is a recipe for prices to start skyrocketing upwards. At the end of the day, no matter what type of property you're buying, it's good to look at the numbers for those specific properties in that area. Because when looking at overall numbers for the Greater Toronto Area, which is usually reported in the media, it might not tell you whether your segment is overperforming or underperforming. And that can hinder you whether you're selling your house or whether you're in negotiations to buy a house. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this coronavirus market update. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Have yourself a safe day.